Thank you, and thank you for allowing me and for letting me be on stage. Hello, everybody. I am obsessed with t-shirts. If there's a t-shirt, I have to have it. I went to New York last week. I went to the Strand. I bought books, and I had to buy this shirt because I'm obsessed with t-shirts. If a Transac has a t-shirt, I'll have to buy it tonight. If Raconteurs has a t-shirt, I will buy it. It's just a thing I have with t-shirts, and I've been obsessed with them forever. Now, I'll show you. And there's more at home. This is probably the very first t-shirt I wore. My mom kept it. And she gave it to me tonight, or a few days ago, because she knew I was going to come here. And then I got another one when I was older. But I have stories about all my t-shirts. And there are stories about this ones, but this is not the story I want to tell you about tonight. Now, we have to think about t-shirts. T-shirts were really invented by sailors around the turn of the century, the Spanish-American War. They were hot. Sailors are always hot. And they had their undergarments. They probably rolled them up, and they looked cool, and they said, well, let's do it. But really, t-shirts, as you know, became immortalized and popularized by Marlon Brando and Streetcar Named Desire. And everybody decided to have a t-shirt from then on, and Jimmy Dean with Rebel Without a Cause. And then, of course, people started printing things on t-shirts, and tie-dyes came and went, although some people still wear them on Queen Street. But t-shirts have been a part of my life. I tell you, I have this, it's shrunk, it doesn't fit me anymore, but I didn't score goals with this soccer team I belonged to with this t-shirt, and I have a story about this, but I won't tell you that story. And I have the stories of places I have worked, the Center for Spanish-Speaking People. I worked there. But that is not the story I want to tell you. I have sports t-shirts. April. Well, I should have had a Blue Jays. Close would have happened. Hey, you're going to like this. I had to buy this one. I should have an Expo one too. But I have made my own t-shirts. I made a t-shirt. Go ahead, touch my congas. I was a percussion player for many years and danced in Toronto, and people used to have liberties and come to stage and think they could just bang on the drums. I wonder if they would do that to the guitar player or the bass player. No, so I made my own t-shirt. And then, when I finally found my own apartment, home, because I lived on many couches in Toronto, and I finally found an apartment. I made my own t-shirts, so t-shirts are my obsession. Now, in 1964, my mom went to my uncle's wedding in New York City, and of course after the wedding, they went to Niagara Falls. Now they got a room for my mom next to their room, my uncle and my aunt, and they went to sleep, and there was a horrible storm that evening. Now my mom got scared, and she went into the room next door where my uncle and my aunt were going to consummate their marriage, and they couldn't they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because my mom was scared and she slept with them. I didn't know that had happened for a number of years, for a couple of years until that happened, and so my mom got me a t-shirt. My mom got me a nice, beautiful t-shirt that said Niagara Falls, Canada. I wore that t-shirt probably for about 3-4 weeks without taking it off. I went to sleep with that t-shirt. I went to play school with that t-shirt. I went everywhere with that t-shirt, and it was already sticking to me. And I didn't want to take it off. I was afraid that it was going to be washed. And lo and behold, my mom one day summoned me up and he said, surrender the t-shirt. Give it to me because it needs to be washed. It probably smells bad. And I said, no, I'm not going to give it to you. The reason I didn't want to give my mom the t-shirt is because, well, you know what happens when t-shirts are washed and my family was going up in modernity. We were living in Peru, and my father had just bought a dish, they didn't buy a dishwasher, but a washer and a dryer. And before I would have seen the t-shirt being washed by hand and supervise the whole operation. Now I was going to go into that top loader where you close the lid, and it would have been a front loader, at least you would have been able to see what was happening to the t-shirt, but my poor t-shirt was going to go in there, and I didn't know what was going to happen to it. So I didn't want to surrender it. And so she summoned my father, and of course my father came, and both of them stripped me of that t-shirt. And it was painful to give it to them. And I saw as that t-shirt went down with a whole bunch of the clothes into that spin cycle. And I waited, and it went around, and it went around, and it did this. It went around. And I waited, and when it came out, they grabbed all the clothes and they put them in the dryer. And I would have preferred for them to hang, like in the old days, they hang the clothes, and they put them in the dryer, because that's the modern thing to do. And when I was presented with my t-shirt once again, my t-shirt was ruined. It was destroyed. The print was all destroyed, and it wasn't crisp anymore. It didn't smell like North America anymore. It just didn't. It wasn't the same. So I wouldn't let my mom live it down for a long time. And then my uncle came to visit, and he told a story about the night at Niagara Falls that my mom didn't allow them to consummate their marriage. So I told that story myself. I got on to tell us, do you know my mom slept with my uncle and my aunt their wedding night? And they were mortified, because anybody who came to the house, I will tell that story. And they were saying, what is it going to take for you to shut up and not tell that story ever again? And one day I told my mom, go back to Niagara Falls and get me a t-shirt. Well, that didn't happen for many, many years. And we moved to Canada in 1979. And then my mom got a job, and in about maybe a year or so, they organized a trip to Niagara Falls. And my mom went with her workmates to Niagara Falls, and she brought me a t-shirt. Now, the reason I keep telling that story is because this is the t-shirt she brought. It's pretty similar to the one I had, but not quite the same. So I will continue to tell that story. Thank you.